live.
We're live. Welcome back, everybody.
It's been a while. We've been on a little bit of a hiatus,
Yeah,
but we're gonna start cranking videos out.
Yeah, we're ready to start. I think get on a serious schedule here. Took a little time off. Had a couple of illnesses we had to get fixed up, but we're back now. We're back and better than ever, man.
Everyone's sick right now. We've got to work around our schedules, but
exactly.
At the moment, we've created a formula, and we're excited to get these videos.
Yeah, we're ready. We got a new formula here. We're ready to create. We're ready to build something here. I think.
Exactly.
We're ready to really start doing some serious work.
For sure.
Anyway, we got a loaded ass slate as usual. Especially after missing 2 weeks, we got an extra loaded slate here.
Yeah.
We got all sorts of things we want to talk about here. Transfer portal, coaching carousel. We want to touch on the NFL a little bit here too. I think.
Oh yeah, we have a lost episode as well. We recorded one, and we couldn't get it out in time, and it's just old news at that point.
Exactly.
So we'll go over all this stuff, from conference championship week leading into the playoff.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Let's start at conference championship Saturday.
Yeah, we really didn't mention much about that and the playoff implications involved. But first and foremost, I think we need to, recognize a legend.
Yeah, for sure. I think we gotta. Our deepest condolences go out to the people and the fans of Starkville, Mississippi, the Mississippi State Bulldogs. They lost their head coach today, Mike Leach.
Absolute legend.
An absolute legend. He was a legend at Washington State before he went to Mississippi State.
Texas Tech.
In Texas Tech,
where he made his name, too.
And, this guy just gone too soon. Heart attack. I think he was transported to the hospital a couple of days before, and I think he passed away this morning. But, just absolutely hate to see this. This is an absolute tragedy. And our thoughts and prayers go out to, all the fans of Mississippi State and the friends and the family of Mike Leach.
Yeah, he's an absolute pioneer of the game.
He is.
I want to pull up his coaching carousel. I think, or not his coaching carousel.
His tree?
Coaching tree, rather.
Didn't he, invent the air raid offense or something like that?
He's an absolute legend. This guy has put more coaches in college football and in the league.
Really? I don't think I've heard this one. I'm interested to hear this.
I need to find where I found this, his tree here, his coaching tree. But it's nothing short of remarkable, all the guys that he's had.
Really, I think he was pretty young, too. I think he was 61?
61 years old. And like we mentioned before, the dude's a pioneer of the game.
He is.
We've seen...
He's been around the block a couple years now, long time.
We've seen just so many, I don't even know how to put it, man. We've seen iconic clips and just interviews with this guy. He's just he's a people's person.
Exactly, he is. Exactly. He's just one of the few guys, he just keeps it real. 100%. He doesn't ever sugarcoat anything. He just tells you how it is all the time. Yeah. And man, he will be greatly missed, man.
It's quite sad.
And it's a big loss too for Mississippi State too. They're going to be doing a coaching search now, kind of an unexpected coaching search, really, to say the least.
Yeah, here's Mike Leach's coaching tree. Dave Aranda at Baylor.
Really?
Sonny Dykes at TCU. Josh Heupel at Tennessee. Cliff Kingsbury. Arizona Cardinals.
I didn't know that.
Lincoln Riley.
Lincoln?
Those are just some of the notable names on this list. The guy has put so many coaches in the league, and not in the league, in college football, and obviously Cliff Kingsbury in the NFL. And I don't know, man. He's a legend of the game, and it's so sad to see.
It is.
I mean, all those years in Washington State, and even now at Mississippi State, he won in the Big 12, the Pac-12, and the SEC, and that's incredible.
Exactly. Not many coaches can say that.
Yeah.
Let's get to the conference championships from 2 weeks ago, was it?
Yeah.
Anyway, we won't spend too much time on these because, obviously you guys all know by now what the Final Four is like. You guys already know what happened. But Georgia, they took care of LSU, final score wasn't really indicative of the way this thing played out. 50-30 was the final, but Georgia was in control for the majority of the game, for the most part.
Number one team in the country.
They're going to be number one seed heading into the playoffs, too. They're going to be playing Ohio State, too. That's going to be
that's going to be a great game.
I think it's going to be the best game of the playoffs, arguably. Maybe.
Oh, yeah. I think, Georgia, it's not a favorable draw for them because Ohio State's a team with firepower.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just at the end of the day.
Secondary, and then, they're going to test that secondary, too, with obviously those receivers that Ohio State has.
Yeah. Obviously, we see number 2 seed Michigan took care of Purdue.
The game we were at, yes.
We were in attendance for that game. It was, I don't know, it was a good game.
Some tense moments there for a little while, but I mean...
a little bit too close for comfort in the beginning.
They pulled away in the third quarter, really like they've done all season, really, and they just continue to roll. I don't remember exactly what the the second half stats are for Michigan this season, but
incredible.
they're a second half team, I think, to say the least.
Most definitely.
They just proved it every single week for the most part. It was no different 2 Saturdays ago when they beat Purdue.
They love to give us a heart attack in the first half.
Yeah, they
come
like
out
to,
like a whole different team in the second half.
They like to just play around in the first half, but
it's like boxing. They're feeling them out.
Yeah, boxing match, 4-round fight. But anyway, I think we should get to the big upset.
Yeah.
Of Championship Saturday. Kansas State, they took down TCU, Big 12 champion.
As we predicted too, we were talking about that on the episode that has since been lost. But the TCU Kansas State game, Kansas State, wins the Big 12, and TCU stands firm at that 3 seed. I feel like that's the right decision from the committee.
Yeah, Deuce Vaughn was incredible in this game. 130 yards rushing. I mean, this guy, he's going to be maybe the first running back off the board, maybe the second. Who knows what's going to happen there? But I mean, they got a really talented team, and they played without Adrian Martinez
and still won this game. Yeah. Obviously, you got to give credit to Max Duggan for leading them back on that final drive, force overtime. But at the end of the day, it wasn't
quite enough. But they got stopped on the goal line, I think it was.
Yeah, I think that drive pretty much earned him an invite to New York.
Yeah,
to say the least.
Yeah, for sure. But anyway, TCU, they stay firm at 3. And they don't drop. They don't go up any spots. They stay right at 3. Make of that what you will. But let's talk about Clemson now. They took care of business, 39-10. This thing.
Cade Klubnik.
Yeah, Cade Klubnik. The Cade effect.
Yeah, it's the Cade Klubnik effect.
This is, maybe what we would have seen from Clemson all season if they would have started, the best quarterback on the team. But we'll never know now. But what's done is done. They're 11-2 ACC champions, no playoff, obviously, but I guess it's an okay season, good season, but not what Clemson fans wanted. Not what they had in store. They thought they were going to be national champions, playoff bound, but obviously things don't happen that way.
They're not going to reach that ceiling with DJ Uiagalelei as their quarterback.
No, he's in the transfer portal too. Yeah,
exactly. So it's Cade Klubnik's job at this point, and we've seen the heights that he can take them, and I think. I don't know. I think that's the smart move. I feel like Dabo should have done that, 13 weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. Back in week 1 or 2,
yeah,
I think.
Exactly. A little bit too late.
A little too late at this point. But anyway, I think this is definitely something to build upon for Clemson, though, for next season, maybe.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Obviously, Cade Klubnik's still a young guy. True freshman, I think. And, he's got a lot of growing and learning to do as a quarterback in college football, but I think he's going to do great things there.
Not many schools can say, "Oh, we had a down year, ACC champion."
Exactly. You can't.
I think there's only 2 schools in the country that can really say that, and it's Clemson and Bama. If they don't win, they can.
Exactly. They think winning the conference is a down year. Winning the conference is a down year.
Exactly.
That's just not the case. But 11-2. Who was there? They lost to Notre Dame, and who else? USC? No.
No, Clemson. They lost to South Carolina.
Oh, that's right.
Spencer Rattler went off. Yeah, those are the.
Wait! Hold on. We gotta talk about USC too. USC, they just get blown away by Utah. Rematch game. We were dead wrong about this game.
Yeah.
We thought USC was gonna win this thing. We absolutely did not see USC just getting blown away.
Yeah, no. Especially when you're holding firm at the 4 spot, you got a chance to make the playoff, dude.
And you have a chance to win the Pac-12 too for the first time in how long? Since 2017, 16.
So. I don't know. That's just like the biggest choke job I've seen so far in college football season. They had control of the 4 seed and they just let Ohio State jump them. They got beat.
They were up 17-3, I think, in the second quarter, and Utah. You got a calculator? They were outscored by 44 points. They were outscored 44-0 after going up 17-3.
That's insane.
That's ridiculous, man. Lincoln. This is a big. I think this is definitely a bit of a question for you. Your teams at Oklahoma. They weren't great defensively, and I think that we're kind of starting to see that trend continue at USC too. I think Alex Grinch is going to be looked at a little bit. The defensive coordinator there at USC. I think he's going to have some questions to answer. I think this upcoming season and offseason.
Yeah, no doubt. After a defensive performance like that, I don't know. I'd call it, a successful season for them.
Yeah,
honestly, from what they were.
They were never great on defense though this season. They were winning because they had the Heisman winner at quarterback.
Exactly.
And Caleb, I mean, he played banged up in this game, and we want to mention that too because obviously he wasn't 100%, but got to play with who you got, who you got, you know.
Right. It's I don't know, man. I just think it's they had firm control, and it's upsetting to see that they let that slip away and let that team down south slide into the playoff at that 4 spot.
It is, and then I mean, Ohio State fans, they were the biggest Utah Ute fans like of the entire weekend. I think they benefited the most out of anybody. I mean, they obviously got to back into that 4 spot after getting embarrassed a couple weeks before in Columbus. But I mean, we're going to see what happens. I think Ryan Day, this game coming up against Georgia, could be one of the biggest of his coaching career. For the most part. And I mean, if you really lose the 2 biggest games of your season, man, that's tough. That's tough. And he didn't even play for the Big Ten title. I mean, that's tough.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
Buckeye fans, they're not going to be happy with that too. I mean, you get to 11-0, and then you lose 2 games to the best teams on your schedule. I mean,
it's
a tough look.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they, like you mentioned, they backed into the playoffs. So I don't know if we should really be coming in with too high of expectations for the Buckeyes, but they're a dangerous team at that.
They are. They're very dangerous.
I won't lie. When they play to their best of their ability and are clicking, that team's different. So we could definitely see an upset in the the Peach Bowl.
It is in Atlanta.
In the Peach Bowl in Atlanta. So pretty much a home game for Georgia.
It's going to be a home game.
We've
But Buckeye fans, they travel well too. They always do.
Of course. I feel like that's a good segue into bowls in the playoff.
Yeah, for sure. We can talk about that since we'll talk about what's going on. Really, I think this upcoming weekend and then into the New Year's. A lot of bowl games to get to. I mean, obviously some key players aren't going to be playing in all of these games, but we'll give you the rundown here. And I think a real interesting game to start it off is Cincinnati and Louisville.
Yeah.
Really, because both coaches, didn't they just do the old flip?
Yeah.
Or no. I mean, obviously both coaches, they're not going to have coaches because Louisville, Scott Satterfield just took which job was it? The Cincinnati job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Luke Fickell, obviously, he's off to Wisconsin. So in this game, it really just sort of becomes a crapshoot, in my opinion.
What is it? It's the Pinstripe Bowl?
Pinstripe Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really don't know. I feel like Cincy's got more talent.
I mean, Louisville's favored by 1 here. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think about.
Is Jeff Brown going to be their coach for this game?
No.
Obviously, they have to
wait till next season for sure. But
yeah.
I like Cincinnati in this game for sure.
I agree.
I think they've just got a veteran group of guys really that just knows how to win games like this. And I mean, Louisville, they haven't been great this season.
That's the team that made the playoff last season. I feel like it's just a more talented squad than Louisville.
Man, these bowls suck.
Yeah, a lot of these bowls are trash. Wisconsin, Oklahoma State won't be horrible.
Interesting game. I mean, all right, let's get to this game. Oregon, North Carolina. This will be a high-scoring affair, I believe.
Here. I think so, too.
I believe, yeah. I mean,
what you got?
Oregon favored by 14 points.
Hey, yo, let me fly back in my chair.
Am I seeing that right? Hammer UNC here.
No, of course. I was about to say I think UNC wins this game.
I do, too. I mean, Oregon, they've been on the down kind of this last couple weeks of the season, really. I mean, they lost to Oregon State. They choked away that game to Oregon State, and I mean,
Vegas is on something, bro. I don't know about that. I think the Tar Heels get this game done.
And obviously Drake May, Josh Downs, that receiving core, and I mean, they've been electric and explosive on offense all season. I don't expect this Oregon defense, who's hasn't been great this season, to really shut that down at all. I mean, I don't know. This line doesn't really make a ton of sense to me. 14 over under 70.5. I mean,
jeez, it's gonna be a high scoring game.
I mean, Jesus.
I can see that. I don't see one of the best quarterbacks statistically in the country, throwing an egg like this, man. I don't know.
Hey, he threw an egg last week, though.
That's true. They did. I mean,
or 2 weeks ago.
Well, yeah, against Clemson.
But
I don't know. I got the Tar Heels in that one.
Yeah, I do too. I think Mac Brown's going to have his team ready to go after that tough loss and the ACC championship game, end the season on a high note.
I mean, Oregon pretty much had firm control of their Pac-12.
Oh, the Pac-12, yeah.
Yeah, they had firm control of their Pac-12 hopes and completely slipped it away.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I don't know. They're a little bit lost at this point.
I agree.
Yeah, I'll take.
We're the New Year's Six bowls. Oh, Texas
Texas Washington would be a good game.
Washington, Texas. This is going to be a good game as well too.
Big game.
Mike Penix and Bijan Robinson. I mean, this is going to be everything you wanted and more here.
Yeah, that's going to be a must watch. That's
Texas,
not even a New Year's Six
Texas
bowl,
favored by 4.5 too. I don't know. I mean, these spreads are scratching my head a little bit here. I think.
Yeah, I don't love that. I think Washington wins this game.
I do too. I like Washington. They've been very improved this season.
Yes,
10-2 under Kalen DeBoer in his first season.
It's been impressive this year. I think that they got a lot of playmakers, and Michael Penix is.
Yeah, and he's coming back for next season too. And Quinn Ewers, he's been okay. I mean, he hasn't been great
since the injury.
Yeah, and I mean he's still growing as a young player in college football too. So I think he's got a lot to improve upon. He'll be back for a couple more seasons too. I think his best football is yet to be played. Quinn Ewers.
I agree, for sure. Oh yeah, Bijan Robinson just won the Doak Walker too, so that could be a
it's going to be a big time matchup for sure. Yeah. I mean, a lot of big time playmakers. Won't be a ton of defense being played, I don't think.
No, doubtful. It's Pac-12 versus Big 12. There probably won't be any defensive stands, but.
Hey, Pittsburgh too. UCLA. I didn't see Pittsburgh quietly 8-4. Pat Narduzzi. He's got his team playing decent ball right now. I mean,
I don't know, man.
I like UCLA though in this game for sure. I mean, I don't know if DTR is going to play.
But I don't know either. And then Keaton Slovis entered the transfer portal. So I mean, he's not going to be playing in this game.
So give me UCLA. Hammer UCLA.
I'm taking Charbonnet to have a huge game.
Notre Dame,
South Carolina.
Notre Dame, this is an interesting matchup, too. This
is a very
interesting matchup.
I think the Cox win this game.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. South Carolina, they've been playing their best ball as of late. I mean, they hang almost 3/4 of 100 points on Tennessee, and then they upset Clemson in Death Valley, too. Yeah. That is. I mean, I don't remember what Clemson's home winning streak was, but it was a lot. Mm-hmm. And they're playing their best ball right now, and
Rattler,
Shane Beamer, he's coming.
Yeah,
he's really coming.
Oh yeah,
they're playing their best ball, and I like them to continue this over a Notre Dame team that's been up and down. They haven't been great.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did Drew Pine put his name in the portal too?
I think I maybe saw that.
I saw that Drew Pine put his name.
I thought I saw that too.
The portal's just so ridiculous right now. We'll be going through that after.
We're gonna get through that after we get a couple more games in here.
But oh my lord!
But, I mean,
we'll cover it.
But this game here, I mean, I like the Cox for sure. Notre Dame favored by 2. I mean, make of it what you will. Basically a pick 'em in my opinion. But I like South Carolina.
I agree. I see a nice one right there. Clemson and Tennessee. Obviously, Tennessee, no Hendon Hooker.
Yeah, they'll be playing with Joe Milton at quarterback.
Yeah, and obviously Cade Klubnik and Clemson just came off a big win.
Yeah, I don't think Tennessee is. Yeah, I don't like Tennessee in this game. I don't think Jalen Hyatt's going to be playing either. And Cedric Tillman just declared, and he said he's not playing in this game too. And I don't know. I think Clemson, they're playing good ball. Cade Klubnik now is the starter. I like Clemson in this game, and I mean
Will Shipley.
Yeah, Will Shipley in the backfield too. I like Clemson here. Yeah. And I mean Dabo, he wants to win this game. I bet.
Yeah.
After not making the playoffs.
This is very true to the name. Orange Bowl, both teams.
Orange. Look at that. I didn't even see that.
I think Clemson wins the battle of the Orange in the Orange Bowl for sure.
It's not often you see Kansas State playing Alabama.
Yeah.
I mean that's just weird to see. That's super weird to see. I didn't even know they were playing. Till I just seen that. I mean, that's.
Do we know Adrian Martinez's status for this game?
I doubt he plays. I don't think he hasn't played since like the middle of the season. Middle of the season. So I would expect Will Howard to be the starter here, but Deuce Vaughn, they'll still have Deuce Vaughn. If he plays, I mean, who knows if the Alabama Stars and Bryce Young and Will Anderson and Dallas Turner are going to play? But I don't know. I think Vegas, they don't really have a good idea of what's going to happen. They only got Bama favored by 3. So I think they're kind of, waiting and seeing, who's going to opt out, who's going to play, who's not going to play. But it's going to be an interesting game for sure. And I mean, if Bama loses this game, it's going to be weird energy around that program for sure. There already is some weird energy, but if they lose this game, it's really going to, like, who is Alabama? It'll be just like, you don't really recognize them anymore.
They're a little bit of they're a shell of themselves.
Yeah, I mean, really.
Regardless of that, give me the Tide in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think Alabama, they're going to get it done. I mean,
Yeah,
they got Nick
most
Saban
definitely.
as their coach. They're not gonna.
They're gonna find a way.
They're gonna find a way.
If it's Milroe and a quarterback,
Yeah,
they're gonna find a
Jalen
way.
Milroe. I mean, he'll still be there too.
Yeah, they'll find a way. I don't think that obviously this Kansas State team just upset TCU, but I don't think that they're going to carry that into Alabama.
Yeah, no.
I'm sorry.
I mean, Alabama's a different animal.
Yeah,
than TCU.
Exactly. Which is crazy considering one's in the playoff and one isn't.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's all about matchups in the playoff, anyways. You put Bama in one of those playoff slots,
Exactly.
it's going to go different. So
it very well could.
exactly. You know, I feel like we can transition into the playoff now. The big bowls. There might be some more. Some better matchups. Ooh.
USC Tulane. Talk about a favorable matchup for USC here.
Oh, most definitely.
I mean, they get to play the Green Wave here. I mean, yeah.
You got to put them somewhere, though. I mean, that's a New Year's Six bowl team. So.
And hats off to Tulane too, going 11-2 this season too. I mean, they've done great things.
They certainly have.
And I mean, USC favored by 1.5 too. A bit surprising, I think, to say the least.
Yeah.
But
that's
I mean,
interesting. I feel like Caleb Williams' status kind of
for sure.
on this game.
He definitely was not 100% 2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
In the Pac-12 championship game, so his health is going to be in question here. But I don't know. I like USC to get this done. I really do, and I
agree.
I think Lincoln Riley is going to figure out a way to get this one done.
Yeah, I mean it's Tulane. Yeah,
it is. Tulane.
You got to imagine Lincoln Riley's going to win the bowl game in his first season. They have a chance to go to the playoffs.
Talk about a tough season for USC. They didn't even make it to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
And I mean, like every Pac-12 team, they at least want to go to the Rose Bowl. And the fact that they didn't get there, Utah's playing there. I mean, that's tough. And we'll get to that matchup in a little bit here, but talk about another interesting matchup: LSU playing Purdue. How about that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think LSU's going to dog walk Purdue.
I agree.
I think this is going to be one of those typical games where it's like, SEC speed and SEC players, and they just got better players. And
I mean, especially no Jeff Brom.
And Aiden O'Connell, I doubt is going to play. I mean, why would you play? It's the Camping World Bowl, for God's sakes. And don't risk your NFL future for a bowl game where your head coach isn't even going to play.
It doesn't even matter.
Exactly.
Yeah, LSU, what's the line? LSU 10.5.
LSU 10.5?
Double it.
Yeah, I'd hammer the money line in this game.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Yeah, so Rose Bowl.
Let's get to the Rose Bowl. Let's get to the Rose Bowl, dude.
Yeah, Rose Bowl. We were mentioning, obviously, USC didn't get the berth out of the Pac-12.
Yeah, but very good team did. Let's be honest. Yeah. Utah, man, they had some tough losses this season, but they've really righted the ship. Cam Rising, last go-around, Utah's biggest goal last season was to win the Rose Bowl. I remember very clearly that being their goal. I remember Kirk and what's the guy's name? Chris Fowler. They were just talking about it. They're talking about it on the broadcast the entire Rose Bowl last year when they played Ohio State. Their biggest goal was to win this Rose Bowl game, and they're back here again.
Now they get another shot.
They got another shot at it, and this time they don't play Ohio State. They play Penn State, but still a very good team. Let's be honest here. Yeah. Penn State, 2 losses to the 2 best teams in the Big Ten, Michigan and Ohio State, but
I might throw a curveball in my prediction here. I think the Nittany Lions get this one done, man. I'm be honest. That Penn State team's good.
Yeah, they're really good.
That's a really good football team. They lost to the 2 best teams on their schedule, both of which are in the playoff, as we just mentioned.
It is. No, and you're right. And Penn State, they played Ohio State down to the wire.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean,
so really only their bad loss was to Michigan.
Yeah, I mean,
they got smoked by Michigan.
Yeah, they kept it close at half, too.
Yeah, but then Michigan.
They got blitzed in the second half.
It's just what we've seen all year.
Yeah, and I think James Franklin, he's got a really good team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're going to be really good next year, too. And I like Penn State to continue building on the momentum that they've built so far. And I like them to win this Rose Bowl game.
I agree.
Utah's favored by 2.5 here.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of our picks on these bowl games, at least, not like the New Year's Six bowls and the other ranked bowls, have been
upset picks.
But
I mean, these spreads are absolutely asinine.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we're still... What day is that? It's after New Year's.
We're still 20 days out from this. So.
Yeah, so we're a ways out. We just wanted to give like a preview, I guess, but
3 weeks.
Those will go up and down.
Yeah.
But Utah, I mean, hats off to Utah. Obviously, they got it done against USC.
Utah, I mean, they lost those games though to Florida and Oregon and UCLA, and I mean, those are like the best teams on their schedule outside of USC. And I mean, they just haven't been able to finish in the red zone in some games. And obviously they finished in the red zone this last, or 2 Saturdays ago, conference championship Saturday. But I don't know. I think Penn State's they're going to make things difficult for them.
I agree. I think that's a nice defense. Better than the defense Utah's played. So, I don't know. Obviously, I'll respect to Cam Rising. I mean, if they win, that'd be awesome to see for the youth.
Great story.
But I'm sorry, I got to go with the Nittany Lions on that one.
Yeah, I got to go with the Big Ten homerism here.
Exactly.
Anyway, let's get to the playoff. Let's go to 1v4 first. The defending champs, Georgia, the 1 seed, laying 6.5 here against the Buckeyes.
Oh, man.
Man.
I think, as a Michigan fan, this is the matchup you want to see because you want to play these teams. You want to play both these teams, right? Obviously, you want to crack at Ohio State, beat them again, improve Harbaugh's record even more against Ohio State. It would be incredible. But let's be real. This is the defending national champion Georgia Bulldogs we're talking about. And do you know who Michigan even wants to play even more?
I know they want another shot at Georgia.
It's them. This year's version of Georgia,
it's
a lot more beatable.
It is. Last year's team, I mean, let's be honest. Michigan could have lined up and played Georgia last year 10 times, and I think they would have lost 10 out of 10 times.
No, that team last year
they were just that good. I don't know how many first-round picks they had exactly, but it was a lot.
It was the team was stacked with NFL talent.
One of the best defenses in college football history.
Ever.
Yeah.
So that team is gone. It's a lot more beatable version of Georgia.
It is. I mean, they haven't lost yet, but I mean, I think we can still argue and say that they're vulnerable still.
They are.
I
mean, you've had games against, Kentucky went down to the wire. They struggled against Kent State. There's teams that they've struggled against. And Mizzou. Exactly. So this team is a lot more human than it was last season.
There's still questions we haven't seen answered yet. And I think a lot of those questions are going to get answered this Saturday. I think secondary for Georgia hasn't really been tested this season. And I think it's going to absolutely get tested this Saturday with the passing game, Ohio State, C.J. Stroud, those boys, what they can do over there. And I think they haven't seen anything really like that. Obviously, Tennessee, dynamic passing game. But, I mean,
I don't know if it's quite to the level.
I don't think it's quite to the level. I mean, what Ohio State's done year in and year out with their receiving cores and with their wide receivers and quarterbacks, I think they haven't really seen anything like this.
Yeah.
They haven't seen a receiving core like Ohio State's yet either. I mean, this is probably the best receiving core in the country.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like this is a 50-50 coin flip.
Yeah, and I mean, but I think on the flip side, I think that Ohio State defense has the ability. I think Stetson Bennett has the ability to take some advantage of that Ohio State defense. I mean, I think there's some holes that can be exploited for Stetson Bennett. And I mean
you just gotta watch the Michigan tape.
Yeah, no, the tight ends. I think Georgia's tight ends are gonna have a great day. I think Brock Bowers and those boys, I think they're gonna do good things because I mean, obviously you saw Colston Loveland. I mean, you saw what he did against Ohio State, and I mean, I think Brock Bowers is just even better than Colston. And I mean, all respect to Colston, but I mean, Brock Bowers is probably gonna be the number 1 tight end. And is he in this draft or next draft? I think next draft.
I'm not sure if he's in this one or next year.
I think he's in next year's draft.
But either way, he's a bona fide NFL tight end.
He is.
He's going to be a Kelsey Kittle, Mark Andrews type. And I mean, it's just
Kyle
the way it's going to be.
Type. Exactly.
Yeah, he's a stud. Which, I mean, pretty much the number 1 matchup nightmare on that Georgia team. You just
exactly. I mean,
just talked about.
No one really can cover him.
Exactly.
I mean, no one really has the. I mean, what do? You do put a tight end or a linebacker on him? Do you put
no, because he's too fast.
Exactly. I mean,
and he's too big for a corner. He's like unguardable.
Matchup nightmare. It's impossible. Ohio State, they don't have anybody that can cover him.
No doubt. Yeah, no one on Ohio State.
Anybody that can cover him.
Yeah, I mean, for God's sakes, they didn't have anybody to cover Colston Loveland, a freshman from Idaho.
They didn't have anybody to cover Cornelius Johnson.
Or Cornelius.
For God's sakes.
I mean,
they let a guy named Cornelius go for 150 yards. But anyway, I mean, you got any thoughts? You got any predictions here? I don't really know. This is just a flip of the coin for me.
It's too early for me to really lay a prediction on this game that I can stand by.
Really?
Right now, it looks like Georgia's going to win the game, in my opinion.
I think the key in this game is going to be the running backs for Ohio State. If they're healthy, that is a big win and a big plus for Ohio State. They have not been healthy. Travion and Mayan Williams have not been healthy.
I mean, not even to mention injuries outside of just running backs. I mean, obviously JSN has been hurt.
I mean, he's out.
Bulk of the year.
He already said he's out. He said he's not playing. So I mean, that's mean, you probably already knew he wasn't going to play going in, but that just kind of confirms or reassures that he's out, and you're going to look for other guys. They got plenty of guys to step up though.
Most definitely. Emeka Egbuka's one of those guys.
And I mean
Marvin,
Julian
obviously.
Fleming. I mean,
yeah, they
got a lot of guys. They'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the running game is definitely going to be the biggest question mark. And if Ohio State's 100%, I might even pick them to win this game. I agree, though, it's a little too early. I think once we get closer to game time and we start knowing the health of these players a little bit better, I think that'll really determine my prediction. But right now, I think I got to lean Georgia slightly just because, they're the defending champs. They've been here before. They've done this. They've done that. They know what they're here. They know what they're here to do.
Yeah.
That's, in Ohio State, none of these guys have been here. They've never been to the playoff.
I feel like there's one thing. If Ohio State can successfully get Georgia off the field, they have a chance in this game.
If they can do that.
Exactly. That's the thing. I don't know if Ohio State's defense is quite to the level to stop guys like Brock Bowers and Georgia's offense. I don't know. That's the one thing. We know Georgia's offense is more than defense is more than capable of shutting down the Buckeyes, but the Buckeyes have that big playability. So it's like you said, yeah, lean Georgia, 50-50 coin flip right now. There are factors that could possibly change that in favor of Ohio State, but yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the Peach Bowl. I think it's a Georgia lean at the moment.
It's going to be a good game, though. I would suggest not missing this game. I would record this game. If you're going to be out of town, you're not going to be in front of a TV, you record this game. You watch this game. It's going to be a good game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout at all.
No. This game's going to be tight.
Let's talk about the other game, though. 2 versus 3. Michigan back to the playoff again. This time they're playing TCU. They're laying 7.5 here. A decent sized spread, but I think it's justifiable for sure. I don't think this TCU defense is that great. I don't even think they have a top 50 run defense, and that spells trouble for TCU in my opinion. I think if they're not consistently stopping the run, I think it's going to be a long day.
I mean, if Max Duggan is going to have a bunch of powerful, heartfelt drives all game, then maybe. But I just don't see that happening. I think I see a Michigan win. They'll probably cover, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think there's a ton to really break down here.
Yeah.
I mean, this game, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I hope it's a competitive game. I hope it's a good game, but I don't know. I just don't really see it. I don't really think it's going to be that.
It's a favorable draw for me.
I think it's going to be a comfortable win for Michigan.
Yeah, I agree. Getting some confidence going into.
Obviously, I'm all big about experience and these Michigan guys. Every single one has been in this position before. They've all been to the playoff. They've all been here before. And TCU guys have never been here. I mean, I think the experience really plays a factor in games like these, and I think that's going to show well for Michigan here, and I think they're going to win this game going away.
Yeah, I agree.
Donovan Edwards going to have a big game running the ball too. I don't think they're going to have much of an answer for him defensively.
Which is another key for Michigan. I think Michigan's defense is going to counter anything that TCU's offense.
They got to shut down Quentin Johnston.
Yeah, sure. That's one big thing.
He's one of the better receivers that they've faced this year, probably.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
outside Jake Reed and Marvin Harrison, this is probably the third best receiver they've faced.
I mean, had good success
Washington.
with both those guys, so it's kind of, that secondary's kind of been an unsung hero for this Michigan defense this year.
Yeah, they've been,
but
one of the best positions, I should say, the secondary.
I agree.
Their strongest position.
I think either way, it's going to be Michigan, and whoever wins that.
Obviously,
bloodbath that's going to happen in the other game.
Georgia fans, they're probably not too happy with this draw, to be honest. They probably wanted TCU. They probably thought they deserved TCU. I mean, it doesn't happen. It doesn't shake out that way. They got to play Ohio State here. We'll see what happens, though.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
It's going to be good. It's going to be tough for sure.
It's going to be a tough one, but that's our playoff, our initial thoughts on the playoff a couple weeks out still. I mean, I feel pretty good about it coming from a Michigan fan perspective. Obviously, you got to like the favorable draw here. Georgia has obviously the toughest game of the playoff. And it's going to be interesting. And
It
I
is.
would not take your eyes off the television on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, no, it's going to be damn good. Holiday season is going to be damn good. There's so many good games to watch.
I'm getting bored with nothing
I know.
to do,
There's just nothing to do.
I'm very, very excited
Yeah.
to get to this, to get to that point for sure.
Hey, but if you're bored, just get on Twitter and look at the transfer portal.
Just hop on the damn Twitter.
Look at these names here. I mean, this is insane.
Oh, my Lord.
I mean, there's just so many guys here, and I mean, I think we should just. I mean, we're not going to touch on all of these names in the portal because we'll be here all night and well into tomorrow and maybe even the next day. But I mean, there's just a lot of names. Obviously, I think we should touch on some of the bigger quarterback names in this
most
draft
definitely.
for sure. I mean, obviously, we talked about DJU. He entered the portal earlier. Clemson. I mean, he's going to have a lot of options, I think. And I mean, obviously we talked about Cade McNamara too. He just transferred. He announced his decision to play for Iowa next year too. And Kirk Ferentz.
Grayson McCall just entered his name in the portal too.
Yeah,
the
from Coastal
Carolina.
He's
Devin
right now.
Leary.
Yeah, Devin Leary too. I mean, that's really the biggest surprise to me was Devin Leary. I thought he liked being at NC State. I thought he was building something at NC State there with. What's the coach's name? I forget his name.
I can't remember his name either.
But anyway, I thought he was there to to build with the Wolfpack. I mean, they were doing things they hadn't done before in their program's history, and it's a bit surprising.
They were slightly overrated coming into the season, obviously, as we can tell. But I mean, he got hurt.
He did.
It's gonna be interesting to see where he lands. That's a big name.
Yeah, he's gonna have a lot of options.
And we spoke on DJU, obviously getting beat out by Cade Klubnik in the ACC championship game. He kind of saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
Brennan Armstrong, Virginia.
Yeah, and we talked about. I don't know if we talked about Spencer Sanders.
No, we did not.
Oklahoma State quarterback. He's in the portal too. He put up big time numbers. 2-year starter now. For Mike Gundy too, and he's gonna have a lot of big time options as well. Dual threat guy, tough player. I'd take him at Michigan State right now. I mean, they can use a quarterback
for sure. They should be recruiting all these guys at the moment. Drew Pine as well. We mentioned him earlier at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
He is indeed in the portal.
Yeah, he'll be. Yeah, he's in the portal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we'll see what happens. And we talked about Cade McNamara too.
Graham Mertz.
And Graham Mertz. This guy flamed out a little bit at Wisconsin. Obviously, he had those great couple of games in the COVID season, and everyone thought he was going to be Jesus Christ. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it was the offensive play calling, the coordinator. I don't know if it was the offense they were running at Wisconsin, but something wasn't working, I think, is what we can say.
It wasn't really a great match.
Yeah.
The marriage was not.
Right, I forget where he's taking a visit at. He was taking a visit somewhere today, but yeah, I mean, he's going to have some options, I believe, too. Former top 100 recruit, top 50 recruit, I think. He's a talented guy. He's shown it in flashes. We've seen it in flashes from him. He's just got to put it all together.
Yeah.
We know he can do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's really it for the quarterbacks.
Hudson Card.
Yeah, Hudson Card. We talked about him, too. He's going to... He can start at any Power 5. Not any Power 5 team, but he's going to get a lot of Power 5 offers.
Oh, most definitely. LJ Johnson.
Yeah, LJ Johnson. We touched on him a couple pods ago. Trey Sanders, too. Who was it that transferred, dude? Oh, yeah, Sean Tyler. We touched on him, too. God damn it, dude. He just committed something. He committed to Oklahoma State. That's where he committed to. I like that fit for him.
That's awesome.
We've been watching him at Western for the last couple years.
That's a good move for Sean Tyler.
Yeah,
I hope he's successful.
They didn't really have a featured back at Oklahoma State, I don't think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's looking to be the number one option for sure.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it's good for him.
It's good to see him, find a landing spot in the Power 5.
Yeah.
He's a very talented back out of Western Michigan. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we talked about on a couple shows ago, Texas A&M, they got a lot of players from that true freshman class entering the transfer portal. Denver Harris being one guy, Chris Marshall being another guy. Obviously, these were the two guys that were suspended earlier in the season, so I don't really think they had the option to come back. I think that there was probably a mutual parting of ways there, but these are two.
Landed Marshall, right?
No, Cristobal.
Oh, Cristobal.
But yeah, these guys are going to have a lot of options for surely.
Yeah. I mean, no team's been affected more by the portal than Texas A&M.
Yeah,
obviously we know why.
Yeah, and I mean they're coming off a train wreck of the season, so maybe it's good for them to maybe get some turnover here, try to get some winners.
Consolidate their roster
Yeah,
to
for
guys
sure.
that actually fit the mold, as opposed to guys that
Yeah.
they're bringing out on that NIL money.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, let's talk about Eric All too. This
Yeah.
was a rather surprising name, I think, out of Michigan who hit the portal too. All signs right now kind of point to Iowa being the transfer destination. Obviously, he and Cade McNamara were roommates at Michigan,
Oh,
so
That's his boy.
yeah, that's his boy. So I mean, obviously, he probably wants to go play with Cade at Iowa too. I think he's taking a visit to Iowa if he hasn't already. I don't know. This is a bit surprising, but I don't know. I heard that maybe he wasn't too happy with the medical staff. A little bit of disagreements here and there, but you hate to see a player of his caliber leave like this.
Oh, yeah.
And he was going to be he was going to be the number one tight end this season before he got hurt, and yeah,
They filled that role nicely.
yeah, but I mean, they're going to have guys. I mean, obviously, tight end room is going to become a little thinner. I mean, they're probably going to bring in a couple tight ends, maybe in the portal, maybe.
Yeah, that would be something I'd look at. I mean, Colson Loveland, obviously, we talked about him a little
He's
bit
going
earlier.
to be the number one tight end.
Most definitely, with Schoonmaker graduating.
Yeah, but Eric All, this was, yeah, it's tough. It's tough to see, but
Yeah.
it'll be okay.
Yeah, they should hammer the tight end
It's
issue in the
AJ
portal.
Barner, right?
Yeah, we just saw that he's taking a visit to Michigan.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many guys in here, man. Like Tony Grimes, North Carolina. I mean, Kyrie Jackson. Alabama's had a lot of portal entries as well. A lot of wide
Trey
receivers.
Sanders.
JoJo Earl's in the portal. Christian Leary, to name a few. I mean, yeah. Well, here I'm gonna go to their page real quick and we'll see who all's in the portal. Yeah.
Trey Sanders.
Damian George. I mean, obviously they don't have all the guys listed here because there's a lot more than these guys that have entered the portal. But man,
Yeah, a lot of Bama people.
interesting too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's just so many guys here. I highly suggest you guys go take a look at this portal because there's just so many guys in here. I mean, you guys probably know half these guys because if you're like us, you guys just watch football, college football all the time, and I mean, you watch these guys play, and you hear these guys' names being called on Saturdays too. And
Oh yeah, a lot of moves here to be made. A lot of teams are gonna get their guys.
and there's going to be a lot of teams very active in the transfer portal too. And I mean, the fireworks haven't even begun to go off yet. And I mean, that's really going to start to happen when these guys commit to their schools. And
Oh, Justin Flo.
yeah, I saw. Yeah, Justin Flo entered the portal too, linebacker from Oregon. He's going to have a lot of options.
He's gonna do.
And Dante Thornton too, wide receiver from Oregon too. He kind of came on the scenes as of late, and for that Oregon receiving core. But no, he's going to have a lot of options as well. I mean,
JT Daniels entered his name again too. I forgot about that.
he's a bit of a bust in my opinion.
Oh, no doubt.
He's kind of fallen off really. I mean, everyone thought JT was going to be the savior of Georgia football, and really it was Stetson that led him to the promised land at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I highly suggest you guys go look at this for yourself because there's just so many guys here. And I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh yeah, Phil
and I mean-
Dracovic.
yeah, Phil. Let's talk about Phil real quick. Actually, he landed at Pittsburgh, and I mean,
Yeah.
this was a guy. I mean, I was so high on him, and I mean, if you go back and watch Boston College back in the COVID season, Phil was the quarterback, and I mean, he was just lighting it up. He and Zay Flowers were just lighting it up, and I mean, we saw what Pat Narduzzi did with Kenny Pickett at Pitt in that offense, and I think he's kind of trying to do the same maybe with Phil Dracovic here. And I mean, maybe Pat's becoming the new quarterback whisperer here.
Yeah.
So we'll see there.
Oh, yeah.
Very
We didn't
talented
even- We didn't even touch on Haynes King too, another Texas A&M name.
Yeah, Texas A&M mass exodus continues.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
It's tough for Jimbo, but I think it's probably better. It's probably for the betterment of his program that this happens because a lot of these guys they're here for the cash and the NIL deals.
Dakotas Crawford.
Yeah, DeColdis is in the portal too. It's tough to see.
Yeah.
It's tough to
Portal's
see.
heating up, like we mentioned. Go on 247 Sports.
Yeah,
look
go
at
on
that
247
portal.
Sports. Highly suggest you get on here. Because, I mean, there's just so many guys. I mean, I could just sit here and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll all day. I mean, we'd still be scrolling by tomorrow morning. There's just so many guys.
And, not only transfer portal heating up now that the season has come to an end, the coaching carousel we obviously our last pod we didn't know that Deion Sanders found his landing spot. He lands in Colorado.
Yeah,
Boulder.
I mean, Colorado. This is the first time that they've been like nationally relevant in
How long?
I don't know,
Very long.
And I mean, they've had one winning season I think in the last 20 years or something crazy like that. And Deion's here to change the culture. Everyone saw that speech with the team when he first arrived. He was like, if you want to hit the portal, you can do what you want, or you can come here. You can try and build something here with me. But I got guys coming in.
Oh yeah.
And we're gonna change the culture here.
He's a straight shooter. He's saying basically, I don't like what we saw last season from.
Yeah, your parents didn't like it. The fans didn't like it. I mean, and he was just calling it like it was, and he's saying it's not going to continue. We're changing something, and it's happening now.
I like it.
And you're either with it, you're either going to come with us, or you're going to, you're going to be left by the wayside.
Yeah, I like that. I like it for Colorado. It's a good hire.
And it's a great move for Colorado. It makes the Pac-12 more interesting. And I mean, this next season will be the last season of the Pac-12 as we know it, but it's going to be interesting. You're going to want to watch Colorado football. I know I did not want to watch Colorado football until
they were god awful this year, so there really was nothing to watch. But Deion takes over that program
for sure, and his son is the starting quarterback at Jackson State right now. I forget what his name. It's like Shadir. What is it?
Shadir.
Yeah, Shadir Sanders, and he's a stud, dual threat guy, and obviously we all know Travis Hunter too.
Oh yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, none of those guys, by the time of this recording right now, none of those guys have hit the portal yet. So it's going to be interesting to see if those guys leave, before the bowl game. Wait, they're not. Are they FCS?
They're FBS.
They're FBS. I don't know. I don't think they're in a bowl game, are they?
No, I think they went undefeated.
Are they in a bowl game?
I think so. They might be playing for the national championship or something.
How does that work?
I have no clue.
Well,
they might be FCS.
I think they're FCS
2 or something.
Because I don't think they play a bowl game.
Or like 1A or something.
They play Grand Valley State. Don't they play Grand Valley?
No, they would. They play.
They're gonna play Ferris next Saturday if they win, right?
Yeah, no. Ferris beat Grand Valley.
Yeah, so they're gonna play Ferris. Okay, anyway, we're getting off topic here.
Yeah.
But anyway, we don't know, but we're waiting.
Division 1.
I don't know what the division.
FCS subdivision Southwestern.
Who knows? I think they're Division 1. I think they're FBS.
They play only HBCUs.
Yeah, I think they play like Troy and Georgia Southern.
Oh.
Right there in that conference, I think.
Huh.
The Southwestern Athletic Conference.
SWAC.
Yeah, the SWAC. So they play where's 247 Sports?
I'm pretty sure they're undefeated. They might have lost one game at the most.
We gotta look this up. Anyway, back to Jackson State, or Colorado. We're gonna see how many of these guys at Jackson State are hitting the portal. Yeah, they don't even have the SWAC on here. Never mind. Forget I said anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, Colorado A+ hire, A+ coaching hire.
No, yeah, for sure. It's gonna be a big transfer portal destination for those guys too. For everyone.
For everybody really. There's gonna be a lot of people in the portal that are gonna want to play for Colorado now.
I wouldn't be surprised if they land one of the quarterbacks or something too.
Or Shadir too. I think he's probably gonna come.
Shadir.
I mean, who wouldn't want to play for your father too?
Yeah, I saw something said. Somebody said on Twitter that Shadir unfollowed his entire family or something on Instagram.
Well, maybe not. Maybe he's not coming.
There might be some bad blood out there,
right.
But a lot of those Jackson State players are kind of sour that Deion left.
Yeah. I mean, there's controversy too because he was saying how he wanted to come to the historically black college and make it a national brand and stuff like that. And people are obviously bitter because he left, but. All of you would do the same thing. He got a 3 times, his salary increased by 3 times or something. You all would do the same thing. And if you tell me you wouldn't, you're a hypocrite and a liar.
Exactly. And who wouldn't want to win in,
and you can
Division
win
1 Power 5 ball?
Too. Yeah.
It really only solidifies him as, an elite coach, as a primetime coach.
Primetime, yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway, let's talk about couple other, the carousel moves. Obviously, Wisconsin, they hired Luke Fickell away from Cincinnati.
Yep. Great
hire for Wisconsin, who's trying to get back to its Big Ten championship winning ways. Feels like just yesterday. But I mean, they've really fallen from grace these last couple of years, and Luke will get them back to where they have historically been at the top of the Big Ten.
Luke Fickell's a hell of a coach. I expect a big turnaround in Madison for sure.
Oh yeah, and Braylon Allen said he's coming back, so big plus for him.
Oh yeah, he'll have the best player on the team returning. So
yeah, I mean, in the Big Ten West, really, we're going to see a lot of new faces. Obviously, Matt Rule at
Nebraska.
Nebraska, and Jeff Brom, he just left Purdue for Louisville. And Purdue, they just hired Ryan Walters from Illinois. So a lot of new faces all over the place. It's going to be interesting. The conference is going to look completely different.
Yeah, as it should. I mean, it needs a little bit more.
It needs some fresh blood because it was getting rough there for a while. Especially this year, it was just a shit show in the Big Ten West.
Exactly.
And this is good for the conference. I think there's going to be a lot of good coaches now in the West, and I think we're going to kind of start to see maybe a little bit of a balance too. But
if we had mentioned on our last pod, I think I don't know if I actually can't remember if we mentioned that Hugh Freeze.
Yeah, Hugh Freeze at Auburn too. And I mean, this is a guy with a checkered past too, and you know, obviously, he kind of got ran out of town at Ole Miss, but he's kind of turned a page here, and he really built something good at Liberty, and he had a first round pick at quarterback, I think, in Malik Willis too, and I mean, he can coach ball. I think there's no doubt about that. I mean, obviously the ethics. I mean, maybe some things that he's not too proud of in his past, but I think he can coach ball, and I think he's going to have Auburn moving in the right direction.
If we're talking X's and O's, it's a slam dunk hire.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. This guy can coach ball. I mean, we saw what he did with those Ole Miss teams.
Oh, yeah. Chad Kelly.
Yeah, he had Chad Kelly looking like a NFL QB.
For real, he had him looking like an NFL QB. He had everybody fooled.
Yeah, I mean, he can coach ball. He's a good offensive mind. And
any other names that come to your mind?
No, I mean, there's a lot of just turnover right now. It's just like a lot of people taking jobs and jobs becoming open when people leave. It's just, I think we covered all of them at least. Yeah.
I feel like the last college football topic we have to hit for this episode is the Heisman Trophy ceremony and award that just occurred. This is the most relevant news other than obviously the passing of Coach Mike Leach.
Yeah, R.I.P. Mike Leach.
Yeah, that just broke today. Yeah. So obviously we're all deeply saddened by that. We already mentioned.
Yeah.
But the Heisman.
Yeah, the Heisman is rigged.
Yes, most definitely. We have some big thoughts on this award. I think
if you didn't already know it was rigged, this just confirms that it's rigged.
Out of the guys that were there, I think they made the right choice.
Yes.
The four that were invited.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
I would make the case that two of those guys shouldn't have even been there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, two of those guys probably shouldn't have been there. I think there's one guy in particular that really should have been there, and that's Hendon Hooker. I think he absolutely should have deserved an invite for the season he had at Tennessee, and it's just a shame that he went down with that injury in the South Carolina game towards ACL, because this guy was putting up Heisman numbers all season. And I mean, before the injury, he was a slam dunk favorite to win the Heisman.
Absolutely.
Odds wise. And I mean, how does he not get an invite at the very least? I mean, getting a Heisman invite, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
And even with the injury.
Even with the injury, he still should have received an invite.
Over
the mailman. The mailman should have had no business being on that stage.
Over a game manager.
With all due respect to Stetson Bennett, we're not going to sit here and slander the good name of Stetson Bennett, but I mean, we give him his flowers. He won the Georgia Bulldogs national championship, but for God's, the slurping, it's ridiculous. This guy doesn't even, I mean, I think J.J. McCarthy has better numbers than Stetson Bennett.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Just give JJ the invite next time, for God's sakes.
I don't know, man. You could have at least invited Hendon Hooker, bro. You know how much, what that would have done for him and his confidence too, especially with the injuries.
Yeah, and I mean, he deserved it. He deserved it too.
It's not even like a sympathy invite.
No, it's not a sympathy invite at all. And he was just that good. He was just putting up that good of numbers this whole season. Yeah. And it's just a shame that he didn't even get an invite. And that's about all there is to say on that. I mean, and obviously we talked about Blake Corum before the show too. He didn't receive an invite either, and everyone thought he was for sure going to be there, be one of the contenders there. Didn't receive an invite either, but running backs, they don't really get invited a whole lot.
I guess you just can't get injured. You can have a remarkable season, but don't get injured in the second to last game.
Yeah, Blake got injured too. So if you get injured in the second to last game and you're in the Heisman race, you're just completely out of it. You have no shot whatsoever to even get an invite.
It doesn't matter what your numbers are. It doesn't matter if you're statistically far better than the last running back Heisman winner, obviously Derrick Henry. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
You're not going to get an
invite.
No, Max Duggan's going to get an invite.
CJ Stroud is going to get an invite.
And CJ Stroud is going to get an invite.
Yeah, and I mean CJ.
Dude, I don't know, dude.
I don't know. Give us your opinions. We want to hear from y'all too. Yeah, what do you guys think?
Out of the ones that were there, they made the right choice. Caleb was probably going to win.
No, Caleb. I mean, it's just a shame that his team couldn't seal the deal in the Pac-12 championship game and go to the playoff and win the Pac-12 because he was just phenomenal all season. But I mean, they got the winner right at the very least. But I mean, just ridiculous. Foolishness.
Yeah, I think I can name, like we mentioned, there's two or three guys that probably should have been there over the two or three that were there and did not win the award.
Exactly. I mean, C.J. Stroud is there for a second year. Let's not forget, it's second year there. And I mean, he didn't even finish second in the voting last year. I don't know what the voting was looking like this year because obviously I didn't pay attention to it after I saw that the award is rigged.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I don't know. I mean, it leaves a bitter taste in my mouth for sure after what I watched. I mean, it's not indicative of the most. It's supposed to be the most valuable player in college football. Mm-hmm. Did an awful lot of college football this season.
I did. We watched quite a bit. I think
guys that don't come to mind, or guys that come to mind to me, are like we mentioned, the Hendon Hookers, the Blake Corums, those type of guys. Maybe even the Drake May type dudes.
Drake May as well.
Not C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, no.
Not Stetson Bennett. And not Duggan.
No. Duggan, I mean, come on.
Duggan, maybe.
Come on. Obviously, there needs to be a change needs to be made when it comes to voting. I think the people that vote on this award need to be looked at very heavily. And I think we need to talk about this, really. Why are these guys that don't watch college football at all, they go on their computer, right, and they look at collegefootballstats.com and they say, oh, okay, top 4 teams, we're going to look at the quarterbacks on the top 4 teams, vote for those 4 guys, all right, we're done. They don't even watch any football.
Exactly.
Those are the kind of guys that, vote on this award, and it's just a shame. It's a shame.
If we're talking about, most valuable, it's not even necessarily a stats thing. It's an eye test thing. You got to watch the game in order to see the most
you watch the game,
and
I mean, exactly. If you watch the game for even 10 minutes, you'd see this guy is the best player on the field.
Exactly. Because we got to talk about how empty stats exist. That's just the thing. Empty stats are very prevalent, and I can think of a lot of guys. Actually, I can think of one guy.
I can think of one guy.
A lot of those empty stats. But anyways, I mean, we're not going to spend a bunch of time bitching and moaning about the Heisman. And it doesn't matter. It's a quarterback award, and until further notice, it's going to remain that way. But, obviously there's other sports than college football. You got to touch on the NFL.
The league, if you will.
We got some exciting stuff happening in the league, especially, Lions.
Oh, yeah. If you're a Detroit Lions fan, this is a long time coming, man.
Yeah.
What's the win streak at? 5?
I think it's at 4 or 5 games right now.
I think it's started
1-6 or
5. They've won 5 of the last 6, I think.
Which is
something like that. Incredible. I don't know, but man, Dan Campbell, what a job, man. A lot of questions about his job security, just like 6 short weeks ago.
Exactly.
We were sitting here talking about, is Dan Campbell the right guy for this job? And man, he's turned it around. 6-7 right now. I mean, the defense has played so much better too. The offense is still high octane.
Hats off to Jared Goff.
Yeah, and Jared Goff too, man.
Hats off to that.
A lot of questions about him too coming into the season, and everyone thought he was just going to be gone after the season. But he's playing his way into maybe coming back next season.
He's playing his way to a contract. Yeah. That's the thing. And I don't hate it. That's the thing. Is Jared Goff is so easy to bring down because he's just
300 yards, Goff, but 300 plus yards in back-to-back games, both wins, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good. That's really good. And they
play New York.
Yeah, they play the Jets,
And the Panthers and the Bears.
Very favorable schedule here. I mean, can they do this? Can they go 4-0?
I think.
And can they get to the playoffs?
I think they're going to have to if they want to make the playoffs.
I do too. I think if they want to do this thing and they want to go to the playoffs, you win all 4 of those games.
I'm gonna tell you the only one on their the next 4 games to end the season that I'm scared of is the New York Jets.
No, the Jets game is going to be tough.
That's
going to be the
for.
toughest game. But I mean, Green Bay, they're checked out. The Panthers, they've been a disaster. I mean, they're playing good ball though. I mean, they picked up a good win.
They did
this past Sunday, but I mean,
not to mention the Bears in last place.
Bears, but I mean, they got Justin Fields, so they'll always be a threat.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they can do this. They can do this.
They will most definitely, because dude, the 2 teams above them, Washington and New York.
Is Washington above them? Don't they got a tiebreaker or some shit like that?
They're 7-5-1. The 2 teams
the tie
above them in the playoff picture, they both have the win over. They beat the Giants and the Commanders, I think. So if it comes down to a tiebreaker type situation, the Lions would have the edge because they beat both those teams. This team might make the damn playoffs this season.
I mean, they really. Yeah.
Talk about a turnaround.
What do you think? You think they can go 3-4 and get in? Do you think they got to go 4-4?
I mean, as of right now, I feel like the talk is that they kind of have to go 4-4.
That's what I've been hearing too. I've been watching Rico Beard and Mike Valenti, and they've been saying, they got to go 4-4.
I think it really depends on what happens in the NFC East. To be honest with you, with the Commanders and the Giants both sitting
Cowboys
at
10-3. Okay, Cowboys.
Yeah, the Cowboys are awesome.
For now,
I think.
Wait till the playoffs start.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're going to have Tampa Bay coming in.
Tampa Bay might miss the playoffs.
They can't. They're leading the division. They're automatic.
Oh my God!
That's 6-7.
The NFC is a disaster.
I mean, obviously you got to look out for the Seahawks too. It's kind of
the Seahawks are out of gas.
So we have Seahawks, Lions, and then the 2 teams from the NFC.
The 49ers East are playing really good ball. Well, I think we can't discredit that though.
Yeah, but they're going to be a division champ.
Yeah,
they're going to be an automatic.
The Seahawks are there.
So for that, there's 7 spots. So there's 4 teams, 7 spots here. We have the Giants, Commanders, Lions.
Where are the Giants?
Giants are right there at 7-5-1. So go down. Seahawks, Lions, Giants, and Commanders are the teams that are fighting for 3 of the spots, and there's 4 teams. I think, and the Lions, did they beat? No, they lost to the Seahawks, didn't they?
Yeah.
They lost to the Seahawks.
They
lost to the Seahawks, but they beat the other 2 teams. There's a good shot. And they have a favorable schedule to end out.
They've had a favorable schedule all go around.
Yeah. I mean, I was on record saying that they had 10 winnable games on that schedule. They went out.
They're pretty
That's 10
close
wins.
to 10 wins as it is.
That's 10 wins that they went out. So
I mean, good shit for the Lions, and they still got the first round pick from the Rams too.
Exactly. So that's gonna be a top 5 pick.
They're still gonna get a top 5 pick, and they're still gonna have their first round pick. So
Lions are set.
Yeah, the Lions have a very bright future. And I mean, their young guys are playing very well too. Hutchinson's played well. Okuda played a good game. I mean, he's got a lot of young guys. And J-Mo made his debut too. He scored a touchdown too. Good for him, man. Battled a ton of injuries, man. So good to see.
And Hutchinson, people wanted to talk slander on Hutchinson.
Yeah,
at the
back
in
week 2.
Exactly. And he's played his way into Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Now sometimes he's got to wait it out, man.
What has he got? He's got 8 or 9 sacks, I think now, and 2 picks, fumble recovery, a bunch of QB pressures.
Exactly. I mean, good for him, man.
Yeah.
There was so much chatter about him.
This is his second.
A waste of a pick he was, and he's not a waste of a pick.
He's a stud.
He's
getting double teamed when he's not making an impact.
Exactly. I mean, their D-line's not great as is. I mean, he's probably their best player in their D-line.
Yeah.
And they got Ali McNeil. He's cool.
So, Brad Holmes, this is my my letter to you. Give Hutch some help on the edge.
Yeah.
Draft Will Anderson.
Yeah. Get Will Anderson if you can.
Get Will Anderson, please.
Yeah. Yeah, get your man some help. Anyway,
you're gonna have either the number 3, 4, or 5 pick.
You might not even need to get a QB in this draft.
I would not do it.
Just hammer the defense. Get some linebackers in there.
If you
get some edge players. Get some tackles too.
If there is a top 3 pick or top 5 pick for that matter, if he's on the board, Will Anderson, you're taking it.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Yeah, no. I mean, Will Anderson's gonna go 1 or 2. Let's be real. I mean, Rams are in last place in their division right now.
They're horrible.
Yeah, I mean, tied with the Cards. I mean,
Baker Mayfield's their quarterback.
The Rams?
Yeah.
What happened to Matt?
He's hurt.
What happened to Matty Ice?
Out for the year.
He's out for the year.
Yeah, he just had. I don't know if he had surgery or is having surgery on something.
Hate to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely hate to see it.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield led them in some like crazy comeback last week. It was wild.
Baker.
Yeah, Baker's their quarterback.
But yeah, I mean, you got
Saints
anything
are
else you
horrible.
want to talk about here? I mean,
Yeah, go up to
the Bills.
Yeah, I mean the Bills and the Dolphins.
The
Obviously,
Ravens are playing some nice ball here without Lamar.
Yeah.
9-4.
Bengals
Bengals are
gonna be
9-4
dangerous
too. Yeah, I mean they got Joe Shiesty. They're always going to be
Yeah.
a problem.
AFC's kind of pretty much as it's been
It's the
advertised.
Chiefs division
Yeah,
and
pretty much.
everybody else. I mean, the Broncos eliminated from playoff contention.
Yeah. Yep.
That's tough. It's tough
But-
for them.
Yeah.
Broncos country.
I wanted to mention more in depth the Bucks. The Bucks struggles.
God.
I feel like that was something I kind of wanted to mention more.
6-7 right now, man. I mean,
They're
they
struggling.
got beat this Sunday 35-7. I mean, it was 35-0 at one point.
in
man.
Brock Purdy's first NFL start. The dude is
I-
22 years old.
I heard the color announcers for this game made a great point. They said that Tom Brady was undefeated against quarterbacks making their first ever start until
Wow.
this game. Brock
Wow.
Purdy's the first start QB to ever beat Tom Brady. It's insane. I mean, they shellacked him, and the Bucks, man. I don't know what it is. What do you? I mean,
It's a mixture of a lot of things. I
the
think.
receiving core's banged up. I mean,
Yeah.
the running back room. I mean, they don't really got anyone great. They got Lenny, but
I mean, their defense is about the only good thing on the
their
team.
defense
and
is good, but they
struggling
gave up
too.
35 points.
Exactly.
How do you give up 35 points?
I think the team is not the same because Tom's head is not in the game.
What do you mean?
I mean, he's got a lot going on, dude. He's old. He's just, I don't know.
Tom had a ton of turnovers. He's had a ton. I mean, I don't know what his stats are in the season, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this probably isn't his. Those aren't bad stats. That can't be right, can it? Is he really playing that? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, he's not playing great by any means.
damn, his QBR is trash. Is terrible. 23rd in the league.
Yeah, he's
Tom.
really not playing good at all. He should have retired.
He's 4th in the league in yards, though. That's pretty good.
You need. I don't know, man. Obviously, he's going to be in the playoffs. That's the thing.
Yeah,
His team's gonna be in the
guess,
playoffs, and
but
you cannot count Tom Brady out in the playoffs.
yeah.
He's
you're
gonna.
right.
He's
I
probably
think
gonna.
Gronk needs to come out of retirement.
So they're gonna be. Just hear me out here. They're gonna be
You think?
a division champ
You
in
think
the
they're gonna?
playoffs.
You think they're gonna have a favorable
You
draw?
know who they're gonna fucking play?
The Lions.
The Detroit Lions. They're gonna play the goddamn Lions in the playoffs,
You
bro.
think? That's such a bullshit first. That's such.
And
a
they're gonna
horse-
win, and then they're gonna go to the next round and probably fucking play. Who else is there? Go back to the
Vikings?
standings real quick. Go back to the standings here.
The Vikings?
Maybe.
No, the Bills, right?
They're in the AFC. Go back to the standings.
I don't know where the standings went. That was so fucked.
Yeah, go down to the NFC.
The Eagles.
They're gonna play
The Vikings.
either
The Niners.
The Niners too. I don't know. Tom Brady's gonna have a
We're
favorable draw.
a couple weeks out still. You
To
know,
the
the playoff
AFC
picture is still a shit show right now. But I mean, let's talk about the Eagles too,
Yeah.
man. 12-1.
Eagles are nice. Eagles
Yeah,
are
they're
nice.
probably the best team in the league.
I'd say
Probably.
they're the best team in the league. And
I mean,
mind
they
you,
had
the
that
Lions
close
were
loss to the Commanders a couple weeks back, but
another team that the Lions were in striking distance of too.
I mean, they got a pretty. They had some tough games down the stretch here, but a couple winnable games too. I mean, the Cowboys game, that's going to be a tough game.
Cowboys is gonna be a very tough
The
game.
Giants are playing good ball.
Giants
as
will
well.
be a tough game, and the other two are.
Other two
automatic
should
wins.
probably be wins, in my opinion.
The Giants and Saints. I think this
The
Eagles
Bears
team.
and Saints.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Bears and Saints. They're gonna smoke them.
Yeah,
They're
they're smoking people.
I mean, the Eagles just made light work of that Giants team. So,
yeah, they did.
the Giants are a good football team too. They have their hat in the wild card race as well. So
That they do.
it's shaping up to be a good season.
Yeah,
coming down
I think
the
we're
wire.
going to see maybe a new team, maybe in the Super Bowl. Couple new teams in the Super Bowl, maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
some familiar faces.
Way too early to make a pick. I think the Bills are very.
The Bills are appealing. They're appealing
They're
right
appealing.
now. I mean, especially look at this AFC right now. I mean, the
Look at the
Chiefs are
remainder of
there.
their schedule. I want to see who they got.
The Chiefs are always there. We're probably going to see that game again, the rematch.
Dolphins.
Bears,
Ooh.
Bengals tough, and Pats.
They got a
Hey, but-
gauntlet to end their year. other than the Bears.
Hey, but Cole Beasley.
Cole Beasley.
Cole Beasley's coming out of retirement.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to win the Super Bowl, right?
Possibly.
That guy looks like Tyler.
Dolphins, tough game. Bears, easy win. Bengals, very tough game. I think, honestly, if I have a team circled right now, it's the Bengals. I think they're playing amazing ball.
I mean, we saw what they did last season, too. So
the Bengals,
they're turning it on at the right time.
They started off very rough this season and have completely pulled a 180. I think the Bengals are one of my attractive picks at the moment for maybe, going the distance.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They're a very attractive team. I think we just kind of found out how overrated the Vikings are, so I wouldn't...
You think so?
I think so. The Lions handled them, bro. They really handled them. And
yeah, but it's at home, right? I mean, they should have handled them.
They're 5-7.
They should have handled them in the first matchup of the season.
Yeah.
But the Lions choked.
They're 5-7, dude. Like, I don't know. If you're a 10-2 team and you
oh my God, they got smoked 40-3 by the Cowboys.
Oh yeah, they did. They're still like a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
They end
3 weeks ago.
They end with Indianapolis, New York, Green Bay, and Chicago. They have a favorable stretch as well. Very favorable way to end the season.
They should go 4-0. I mean, the
should.
Giants game is going to be tough.
Giants will be tough.
They really should go 4-0.
They should go 4-0. I don't really see Green Bay giving them any trouble.
Green Bay is checked out. A-Rod's checked out. They're done. They want Cancun.
Yeah, they're playing for vacation.
Yeah, I mean, good for them, man.
A team that I really wanted to see do good things at the beginning of the year that hasn't really panned out to shit was the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I mean, Kyler, obviously, he just went out.
Yeah, he's hurt.
I think yesterday.
Hollywood's been hurt.
Hollywood's injured. I mean, D-Hop's on that team.
Yeah, D-Hop was suspended.
D-Hop's suspended.
Yeah, so.
That's tough for D-Hop.
I don't know, man.
Free D-Hop.
Yeah, he's back now. He's suspended at the beginning.
I want to talk about another team, too, that I was, just disappointed in. My Raiders.
Oh,
My Raiders have had an abysmal season, to say the least, after picking up
Hey,
Devontae Adams.
Look, what's the record right now, man?
They're 5-8, man.
They've won a couple games.
But they lost to the Rams.
Look at that. That's a 3-game win streak right there. Josh Jacobs has been playing great ball.
But they lost to the Rams.
They did lose to the Rams as Baker Mayfield came back and drove all the way down the field, 98 yards.
They're letting this guy named Baker drive the length of the field on him.
Yeah.
But I mean, man.
Crazy comeback.
I mean, the way they started the season, man, 2 and what is that? 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 and 7.
But they put together a good winning streak behind Josh Jacobs, who
they should have.
Incredible.
I mean, man, I don't know. They gotta look for some answers this offseason.
They got a tough end of the season too.
I mean, the schedule's not doing them any favors here. They're probably missing the playoffs.
I think. Oh yeah, most definitely.
I don't know what their pick situation's looking like, but man, they gotta.
I don't know if they win another game to end the year. Maybe other than maybe the Steelers, but
Steelers are. They're 5-8.
They're all right. They're all right. We've seen them play good, and we've seen them play like ass.
And they got Mike Tomlin.
Depends on how Pickett's going to play. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the NFL's interesting. I mean, we'll be here discussing the NFL.
Yeah, the NFL's heating up.
Yeah, so NFL's getting nice right now.
We're gonna be getting more updates on the NFL here, and then college. Obviously, it's not a ton of games going on right now because it's the weird stretch, where there's just not a ton happening.
It's gonna be stagnant for a little bit.
Once the the conference slate heats up, we're gonna have content every day. Especially once this college football season's over, we're gonna be hitting basketball.
Oh yeah.
A little bit more,
and we've been,
NBA too.
We've been waiting to really touch on college basketball because there isn't a whole lot to talk about at the moment.
Yeah.
With obviously the beginning of the season, and there's so many more moving parts I think in college basketball than in college football.
There's way more games too, so it's impossible to
harder to really
hit
keep
every
up.
game. And I mean, there's just so many games.
I think
each team plays like 40 games every year. It's insane.
The best way to combat that is to put out a dedicated college basketball episode each week or two, because there's just so much shit happening, and we're getting, like we said, into conference play, so it'll get a lot more interesting.
That comes exactly. Out. I mean, nothing. I mean, no one won natties in November.
Exactly.
Right, so.
And same thing with NBA. I feel like
NBA too. We're not even to the All-Star break.
No.
We're not even to the.
I'll tell you one thing. At least for us, coming to the All-Star or after the All-Star break, you're gonna get a lot.
Exactly, because there's gonna be no. Exactly. We're not gonna have no football to talk about. So
exactly.
So we're gonna have a lot more time here. We're gonna be sure to touch on all the other topics.
And don't forget, I mean, transfer portal, all that stuff.
Transfer portal. That's year round. That's year round. That doesn't rest.
We're gonna be on our shit
around the clock
to recruiting for college football and college basketball, free agency and professional.
Free agents.
That's stuff that we love to see and would love to give out to you
trade
guys,
deadline
too.
in the NBA too.
That shit's gonna go crazy on this channel.
Trade deadline.
Trade deadline talks. But yeah, I feel like
maybe we'll bring some guests on, some NBA. Some guy. We got some guys that love the NBA too. We're gonna bring some guys on. Who knows?
For sure. I mean, so whatever you guys want to see at the end of the day, we're gonna deliver.
Let us know.
But yeah, thank you for letting us give you guys the news. Appreciate it. Peace out.
We'll see y'all soon. We don't know, but soon. See y'all.